All right, so let me tell you the second part about the dining experience that I had tonight. Generally when it's a holiday, and when people go out to dinner, especially like couples, they generally, when they come to a place like Olive Garden, they will usually wait for a table, right? They generally will not like eat at the bar. That's kind of more of a just something that you may do, during the week, any other time other than holidays, right? You don't see a lot of couples go out on a holiday dinner and decide to sit at the bar, right? You just don't see that. So when I went there, I expected to go to the bar and really just see mostly men there, single travelers or whatever. And again, I'm out here in California, and you're out in a place like this right off the freeway. There's travelers everywhere. And most of you can tell because most of the travelers are all wearing shorts, So even though it's cold, everyone's wearing shorts a lot of times. But when I go to the bar, 100% right. There's like 4 or 5 guys that are, my age, a little younger, a little older, whatever, that are at the bar, and the atmosphere is great, right? The bartenders are all really nice. We're all really friendly, and all the guys kind of said hi when I walked in, sat down. It's just a really nice environment. And I had been sitting next to this guy, and again, I never looked directly at him, and I assumed that he was Latino, right? And so when he went to get up to leave, I kind of moved out of the way, and my hat was on the back of my chair, and I guess it did fall off. And he picked it up to give it to me. And again, I never turned to really get a good look at him. And I said, gracias. And he said in the coolest, smoothest, traditional voice that I ever heard, he says, "Me not Spanish, me native." Or no, he said, "Me not Spanish, me Indian." And I turned and looked, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "Cool, man." I said, "Awesome." I said, "Man, what an honor." Because again, I've never met a Native American, I don't think, in my entire life. And if I had, not one who had that traditional sound that when you hear them speaking, you know where they're from, and or what culture they're from. And again, I lived in Florida all this time. People who have that olive skin and dark hair, if you don't look directly at them, you would just assume from there that they're Latino, right? That's just a poor assumption. No disrespect for Latinos or Native Americans, and I forget that I'm not in Florida anymore, so I need to take a second to actually look at a person